What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another quick random live stream from the 10-7 MMA show, MMA channel. And I don't know, this is a bit of an impromptu stream that I wanted to do. And we've actually pushed our regular Monday show until tomorrow. Hopefully you saw the posting that our live stream is going down tomorrow instead of today. So it was a major bummer that we couldn't have the show today, Justin and I, but I was traveling, so it was my fault. But I'm back now. And I just had to say something. By the way, we're going to do a good, really awesome show tomorrow, really awesome breakdown of UFC 308. And we're going to revel in what went down because I do believe it was one of the greatest UFC events I've ever seen. Maybe one of my favorites. But of course, I'm a bit biased because Khamzat Chimaev is my favorite fighter, and I have been waiting for him to fight, and it was tremendous. Tomorrow, there's a good shot that Jesse on Fire will be joining the show as well with Justin and I, which is going to be super, super fun. We're going to know for sure about a half an hour before the show. So we will see then, but it's going to be an amazing breakdown. But today, I want to talk about just myself, just for a quick 10 minutes here. We're going to talk about Khamzat Chimaev. And Khamzat Chimaev is indeed the real deal. And I feel so vindicated. I feel so happy. I've been saying this and feeling like this since 2020. I think many of us did feel that he was somebody special. Not just us. Actually, Dana White said there's been never has there been a fighter like Khamzat Chimaev. Not like Connor, not John Jones, not nobody. He said Khamzat Chimaev, there's never been anybody like him. There was so much hype behind him at the beginning with his turnaround victories, his personality, his just pure honesty, the way he speaks, the way he talks. And there's just something electric and captivating about him. And amazing homework. I'm glad to hear that because it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And people got so excited about him. Remember the trajectory. They had him going against Leon Edwards when I don't even think he was ranked in the top 15 at that point. And now after looking at this fight, I think, it's hard to say because we don't know. You never know. But I mean, if he would have gotten that shot back then, right, when he got sick, Leon got sick, they had to scrap the fight 3 times. I think he would have steamrolled Leon. And this would be a whole nother thing. I think he would already be champ in the welterweight division, already have moved up to middleweight. I mean, this is crazy that all those things unfolded and he got hit with such bad luck, as considering the type of tremendous mentality and physicality that Khamzat has. He was on his way to achieve history, but it didn't work out. He got tremendously sick. He almost retired. He did retire, I think, at one point, or said that he was retiring because he just could not handle or just was having a hard time recovering and getting back to a healthy state. He was extremely sick. He nearly died and had to go to the hospital and was revitalized and revived. Then we see the trajectory go on. He finally gets back to being healthy. He fights Gilbert Burns and wins, yet everybody looks at that as almost like a failure just because he didn't steamroll him like he had steamrolled everybody prior to him, including Kevin Holland, Li Jingliang, I mean, all these people. And so I think people were just expecting him to march through Gilbert Burns. By the way, I think he would have had he listened to his coach's game plan and not been so inclined to engage in a striking war and a stand-up war and all these things that perhaps weren't the smartest idea going against Gilbert Burns. But he still won. But for some reason, people wanted to crap on that performance, and that blew my mind. I don't see any other fighter where they're berating somebody because they got to win. It's just been insane. But again, why? Because we literally thought that Khamzat Chimaev was like a superhero, was like an X-Man, was like Wolverine coming into the UFC and just in this indestructible force that nobody had a chance against. I think that's what we wanted to believe at the time. And when he showed a little tiny bit of humanity, humanity is not the right word, of vulnerability, let's say, where he wasn't just pure invincible, like a superhero, all of a sudden everybody started doubting him. It's crazy. And so Bertha's got a piece of humble pie to deliver to someone. Oh, yeah. I'm sure you all do. I'm sure you guys want to talk to Justin. So he'll be back tomorrow. We're doing the show, I think, at 1:10 is the plan, 1:10 p.m. PST. So make sure to join for that. But anyways, everybody was doubting him. Okay, fine. They doubted him. And he, from that victory, because it was a seemingly competitive fight when Gilbert Burns is one of the greatest welterweights. He almost won the title from Kamaru Usman, but fine. I'm forgetting the order now. I can't remember if he fought Gilbert, then Kevin Holland, or vice versa. I think it was Gilbert first. I can't remember. I'll pull it up actually just to double check. But we have this fight. Then he's going to fight what's it called? The Eraser, Paulo Costa. Okay. And what happens there? Paulo Costa pulls out at the last minute, leaving Khamzat without an opponent. And who do they swap in? They swap in my opinion, a way more difficult fight. Yes, he was moving up to middleweight, but again, he just didn't cut weight. They weighed in at the same weight. They're both at the middleweight weight. Kamaru Usman is arguably one of the greatest welterweights of all time, if not the greatest. I think some people were saying that maybe perhaps he got knocked off by Leon Edwards, that he was on his way to doing that. Basically beat Leon Edwards if it wasn't for that late in the round head kick in the second fight, and then the third fight, of course, he was beaten. But Kamaru Usman is absolutely incredible. And yeah, by the way, it was Gilbert Burns, then Kevin Holland. I mean, sorry, Gilbert Burns, then Kevin Holland, then Usman. Steamrolled Kevin Holland. People are like, oh, that wasn't that impressive a victory. Kevin Holland's not that good. Dude, nobody has ever done that to Kevin Holland. Pure domination. But again, people write it off. Don't know why. Don't understand what's going on and why people talk this way about Khamzat Chimaev. It's crazy. If you rewatch the Kamaru Usman fight, he does to Kamaru Usman what nobody has ever even dared to try. Even Colby Covington had a stand-up battle against Kamaru because he didn't want to engage the grappling. Even though he has a tremendous wrestling background, he didn't know how it would go. And neither of them wanted to exchange because they didn't know. And even though they're both tremendously strong in wrestling, they didn't want to go there. And they had a stand-up battle. A lot of striking, really fun fight. Rock'em sock'em robots to some extent. And then Khamzat goes in against Kamaru, one of the best grapplers in the game, and just dominates him in the first round. And this is no disrespect to Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman, I think, has a lot of respect for Chimaev and picked him to beat Robert Whittaker and was right, even though so many fighters were wrong. But then we come to this fight. We come to oh wait, let me see. Let me see your previous comment here. Khamzat beat 3 number 1 contender fighters. He has a goated resume without even ever fighting. Yeah, that's true. Let's see. Gilbert Burns, Kamaru Usman, and Robert Whittaker. I mean, you know, some people might argue. I think Robert Whittaker's ranked 3rd, but yeah, he's basically, if he would have won, if he would have beat Khamzat, he probably would have gotten a title shot. And this is where he's at. This is who he's fighting. Now, we come to, yeah, Western Mass Climber. This is an impromptu stream today. So I just had to say something about Khamzat Chimaev because this is, I'm going to talk about what I feel is happening right now in the world of mixed martial arts and specifically in the UFC with this victory. I think it's such a big deal. And even though people are blown away and people are talking about it and people are definitely giving Khamzat his due credit in this fight, I still don't think people are fully recognizing the magnitude of this victory and what it could mean for the UFC going forward. But now we come to the Robert Whittaker fight. I watched so many videos of predictions and so many people picking against Khamzat. And the weird thing was it was fighters that were picking against him. I couldn't believe it. Even Justin picked against him, which I kind of understand to some extent, but it had to do with people thinking he was going to gas out, which I don't understand. I don't understand all this focus on his cardio, or people thought that he doesn't have cardio. I don't get that. And maybe we didn't fully see it because the fight finished in the first round. But I don't think he really has a cardio issue. I think he maybe did not manage his cardio properly against Gilbert Burns. I thought he did fine against Kamaru Usman. He still won the fight. He got a 10-8 round in the first, still was hanging in there, and he had a hand injury. People just don't seem to mention that. Josh Thompson from the Weighing In podcast, I don't understand his take on Khamzat Chimaev whatsoever, just not wanting to give him his credit, saying that he wants a fight now for Khamzat against somebody before he gets a title shot. Makes zero sense to me. But anyways, then he comes into this Robert Whittaker fight, and most people are picking against him, except for the odds makers, because they obviously knew. And he goes in and he finally does to one of these guys what we thought he was going to do to Gilbert, what he thought he was going, and what he almost did to Kamaru, by the way. He almost did get that finish in the first round. I think Mighty Mouse himself did a breakdown showing that he could have finished him in that first round if he would have done a couple things differently. No disrespect again to Kamaru Usman, but that's the way the fight was going. Khamzat is that good. He is basically a superhero. It's insane what's happening. And what he did to Robert Whittaker is absolutely bananas. Okay. Burns, Usman, Whittaker were all number 1 contenders. Yeah, exactly. And Pern says, I haven't even considered where this puts him. I thought he could win, but not like that. I mean, I didn't think it was going to, I knew there was a chance. There was a high chance, but like, I don't know. It was just, we've seen him steamroll these other guys that seemingly just, you know, weren't that to that level. So, when he gets to that level, it's just not going to work. But then it worked, and he did it, and he almost did it to Kamaru Usman. I mean, this is crazy what we're seeing. I think a fight against Israel Adesanya wouldn't even be competitive, and I like Adesanya. I'm not even I just think Khamzat, there's something about him, and what people are saying is it's his speed, it's his ability to change levels and shoot in so quickly that is unprecedented. And then you add on to his tremendous seemingly level of strength and balance and ability with grappling, his chain wrestling, what he can do to people, his confidence, his mentality. I mean, the combination literally makes him into a superhero, into a Wolverine type figure coming into the UFC. So it's so exciting. And then yeah, Hamzat jumping from 13 to 3 is wild. Um, yes, and now Homework is saying he deserves to be placed above Strickland and Izzy in the rankings. I mean, I don't disagree. So what's next? And why is this victory so important? I got to go in 2 minutes, so I'm going to keep this quick. Let me tell you what I think we're witnessing right now. I think we're witnessing right now the rise of the greatest fighter in the history of the UFC. Everybody thinks there's nobody that has an answer for him. Literally, Laura Sanko, MMA Guru, all these people are just like, yeah, I think people are in major trouble. I don't think there's an answer for Khamzat Chimaev, and I think this is true. I think he beats DDP. I think he beats Sean Strickland. I think Izzy has a real problem against him. I think Izzy's got the worst shot. I just don't see how he can fight back against those takedown attempts, save a nice knee up the middle or something like that. I think he's in major trouble. I think Khamzat is going to, for sure, have a tremendously high probability of beating DDP or anybody else who's holding the belt. And this is something as UFC fans that we must cherish, that we must treasure, to watch somebody this captivating, this exciting, this electric and just such a presence, just so much fun to watch, so exciting, and grappling, right? Most of the time people are usually most excited about strikers, but not this guy. This guy makes grappling incredibly fun, amazing. I mean, the way that he goes out there with such aggression, dominance, confidence, it's incredible. And we need to support this. And I think if they push him forward, if they push him past Sean Strickland, who's already fought DDP, and it's not a rematch that I think we're dying for. It would have been great, but now Chimaev is here. He's finally here. He's finally ready. He's finally ready to make good on what this UFC has been wanting to do, which is blow him up into a superstar. And he took himself there. He got himself there with this tremendous victory. It's time. And if we make this fight now against DDP in South Africa, which Khamzat's willing to do, Sean Strickland is not. He's already said he doesn't want to fight in South Africa. Imagine this, and we have the crowning of a new champ. He's ready to go. And as much as the South African population might be rooting for DDP, one of their own, with the tremendous victory, they're going to give him his props, and that will be history. The first ever championship bout in South Africa. Khamzat gets it, and then he's on his way to be double champ, to be triple champ, because I think he can do it all. And let's go. We are seeing history. This is, to me, the most beautiful win of the year, probably the most exciting, important win, theoretically, as in my lifetime as a fan. And I think he can be bigger than Conor. I'll end on that. Khamzat Chimaev is the man. We're going to go in deeper tomorrow, but thank you guys so much. Let me know in the comment section what you think. If you think I'm crazy, if you agree with me. But I've never been more excited to be a mixed martial arts fan. Let's go UFC, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 1:10 p.m. Take it easy.